Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go, this is Valley News Live at 5.
I hate to say it, but sometimes we are sitting ducks in houses, and we have to be more than that. We have to be aware.
A warning from a local real estate agent who says the job is getting more dangerous, and people in this community need to stop being so trusting. Thanks for joining us tonight. A group of local realtors are getting together with Fargo police and a martial arts instructor to help try and prevent assault. They'll be learning how to identify dangerous situations and self-defense movements in tonight's class. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Nicole Johnson talked with a realtor who's been in some frightening situations.
For striking, if someone attacks, and then also the way this is configured, because I will walk like this with this kept up.
Jenny Schuster has been selling homes for 17 years. Recently, she started carrying this small weapon with her at all times.
Hit hard enough will shatter the bones. It will also shatter a cheekbone.
Thankfully, she hasn't had to use it.
It just takes a couple people to rattle our cages a little bit, and we need to be ready for it.
She learned the hard way after a few dangerous run-ins.
It was one of those hair on the back of your neck things, and I thought, you know, I should probably leave.
People not actually interested in the house showing, rather what's inside.
He came into the front door and he was just shaking. He was on something. He walked straight to the bathroom and started going through the shelves. And I was in such shock because I thought, oh my gosh, like he's doing it right in front of me. He doesn't care.
Another time, a couple tried luring her to a home. Thankfully, she did her research before going.
Ended up finding out that he was a registered sex offender, and the person that he was with had a warrant out for her arrest. And as the police said, you know, nothing good would have come out of the showing.
Schuster says many realtors see dollar signs and often forget about safety.
When I feel that gut instinct, it's very important to go with that. I leave the building, I leave the house, I leave the open house. It doesn't matter, because nothing, no kind of stuff or anything like that. Nothing is more important than taking care of yourself.
Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
Now, Schuster says the class is not just for women, it's for men too, because they can, of course, be targets as well. They are inviting other local realtors to take part in the class. It's starting in about a half an hour at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Premier Properties. That's on 38th Street in Fargo. They'll be doing this again next year, also in September, since it's Realtor Safety Month. 3 new photos have been released in hopes of catching the people involved in the Vista Inn attempted robbery. And Fargo police, they need your help. Take a look at this. Police just released these surveillance pictures from September 16th. The hotel employee says 3 men and a woman were hanging around the lobby when one approached the desk and said he had a gun and demanded money. Officers say the suspects left without any cash. If you have information, you're asked to contact Fargo police right away. A Clay County deputy is being suspended for 1 day without pay for comments he made on social media. Detective Jason Hicks wrote on Facebook that somebody should have, quote, stomped his guts out, referring to a man who was seen taking pictures of swimmers at Island Park Pool in February in Fargo in July. A disciplinary letter from Sheriff Bill Bergquist says Hicks' actions were a direct violation of the department's standards of conduct and the employee's speech expression and social networking policy. Hicks will also attend social media ethics training. The man at the pool, whose behavior was the subject of police and public scrutiny, was never arrested or charged. A 54-year-old Fargo man has some broken bones after a construction accident in West Fargo. Police say it happened when the man was brushing dirt away from a hole that was being dug with an auger. The man's glove got caught in the auger, pulling his arm in, and it was stuck for a time. Police say he was conscious and awake when he was taken to the hospital, and the man was working for Newman Fence. Well, what a difference 1 day makes. Fall is sure here. We're experiencing chilly temperatures and even sprinkles in some areas. Is that a sign of things to come tonight? Let's talk to Hutch to get the latest. Hutch?
Thanks so much, Stephanie. Indeed, we have really cooled off. This morning's temperatures, by the way, when we look at them, we started out in the 40s down south, but up north there were a lot of 30s out there, and that's a 50-degree drop in temperature overnight from highs in the 90s. Yes, considerably cooler, still in the 50s in Thief River, 70 though in Point points south like Fergus Falls, Wahpeton, and Wheaton. Take a look. Highway 2 showers sprinkling the map. I think most of us in the south stay dry this evening. The planner shows temperatures are going to be cool all evening. But then overnight, some thunderstorms. I'll detail exactly when and where they hit and who needs to worry. Some of them could be strong. We'll have the latest in your hour-by-hour forecast coming up here in just a moment.
It's amazing how much colder it feels all of a sudden.
A 55-degree drop. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Hutch. North Dakota State troopers say a man ingested a large amount of meth during a police chase and had to be taken to the hospital before then going to jail. The chase started on I-94 yesterday afternoon. Troopers say David Scheibe of Mayville, North Dakota, started going north on I-29 and then took off west into rural Cass County. He eventually ran out of gas northwest of Tower City and started running. He was arrested and is facing charges of DUI, fleeing, and several drug-related offenses. Because he ingested so much meth, she was placed on observation until this morning, but he's now in the Cass County Jail. Emergency departments got hands-on training with a hazardous material simulation today. That's so they're prepared in case of a real emergency. The training spans across 3 days and ends tomorrow. During training, officers and firefighters rescued simulated victims. Police officers simulated closing area streets to help residents from entering the hazardous area, while hazmat technicians with the fire department controlled the leak. Residents are encouraged to sign up for Code Red. It's a free messaging system that will notify you in emergency situations. We have a Code Red link on valleynewslive.com. Just click on the hot button. The highly anticipated voting dates for UND's new nickname, they've been set. The voting process begins at 8 a.m. Monday, October 19th, closing at midnight on Friday, October 23rd. Voting will be online and open to many groups, including current UND students, faculty and staff, and UND alumni and retirees. Eligible voters will cast one vote for a single option on the ballot. There are 5 nickname options. It's Fighting Hawks, Nodax, North Stars, Rough Riders, and Sundogs. Now, results are expected to be the last week of October. Pope Francis took his first steps on U.S. soil today, and he was greeted by many, including President Obama, the First Lady, and their 2 daughters. Tomorrow morning's the big day, though. The whole day, he's going to be greeting thousands of people and then meeting with the president again, this time in the Oval Office. Valley News Live's Washington Bureau Chief Jacqueline Policastro will be there, and tonight she explains the feeling at the White House.
White House workers tell me Pope Francis is in a class all by himself. His visit stands out. The excitement here is palpable ahead of his arrival. The White House is ready. It's only the 3rd time a pope will visit.
The rarity of it, the fact that this is a person who technically is the head of state but has enormous prestige beyond the political power. It's the power of the church.
The White House historian says Pope Francis is attracting people who aren't even Catholic, but who are enamored by his approach to world issues.
A feeling of hopefulness and care for the world.
The first visit by a pope to the White House was in 1979 when President Jimmy Carter met with Pope John Paul II. Then in 2008, President George W. Bush welcomed Pope Benedict XVI. But one of the president's cabinet secretaries, Broderick Johnson, says this time is different.
Just, marveling in this opportunity to have the Pope visit this White House in this country.
Johnson tells us President Obama has a unique relationship with the Pope, saying Obama admires Pope Francis and they share some common values.
Whether it's poverty and income inequality, trying to address the needs of those less fortunate, or the climate and what we need to do about climate change as stewards of the environment, and then also Cuba and, looking at the world, not as it used to be, but as it is.
From the Valley News Live Washington Bureau, I'm Jacqueline Policastro.
Now, White House workers aren't the only ones getting ready. Thousands of people are expected to gather probably around dawn just to catch a glimpse of Pope Francis in person. You may have passed by a new restaurant this morning taking shape in Moorhead, but what is it? The city says this is a Hardee's. It's located near the intersection of 34th Street and I-94. The city says construction is expected to be completed by October, and just down the road, a new Boulder Tap House just opened in Moorhead. It's going to be, and it does replace the Grizzlies at the corner of 34th Street and Highway 10. The Boulder Tap House has more than 50 beers on tap. They're also known for their, quote, legendary wings, with more than 20 homemade sauces to choose from. The unofficial live Bison mascot for NDSU is in need of some new wheels. Since his debut on ESPN Game Day back in 2013, Corso has grown by hundreds of pounds. Now, this is video of Corso at the tailgating lot before the big NDSU-UND rivalry game on Saturday. He lives at Chihinkapa Zoo in Wahpeton, but travels the state for educational and sporting events. Staff say that he's outgrowing his trailer and he needs a new one. A GoFundMe page has been set up and started to help Corso. If you'd like to help, you sure can donate to the Chihinkapa Zoo by clicking on the link attached to this story on valleynewslive.com. Money could be the reason the Minnesota Vikings went on the field without their beloved mascot on Sunday. The man behind the costume, this man, Joe Juranich, is better known as Ragnar. He's been on the field exciting crowds since 1994. According to the Associated Press, a source with knowledge of the negotiations says Ragnar asked for $20,000 per game over the next 10 years. Ragnar's absence has created a lot of buzz over social media. Fans have started an online petition to convince the team owner to reinstate the mascot. It had more than 4,000 signatures early last night. Well, still ahead at 5, celebrating a big Emmy win, how you can get an Amazon Prime shopping membership cheaper than usual.
It feels almost chilly outside, but for this time of the year, we're right on the money. Our average high is 68. We hit 68. Your hour-by-hour forecast includes rain and thunder. Details are next.